All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we are working on speech anxiety. And I have two lovely ladies with me right at the moment. We have Izzy up in front. Say hello, Izzy.
Hi.
And we have in back, we have Nicola, better known as Mom.
Yeah.
I always call her Mom. It's so much easier. And I don't get confused. Um, Izzy and I have been talking, and let me see, I'm pulling up my notes on her right now. I remember everything, but I don't remember dates and things. I'm not very good about that. So I
Mm.
have to look at this just to have a rough idea of where we are. And Izzy is from Australia, and it's very early there now. It's 6 a.m. And this is really, really something that they get up at there at that time. And she's 13 and she's a singer and she plays the guitar a bit and the piano too some. And so she's in a band as well. And she started stuttering when she was 6 and she stuttered a whole bunch. And we started talking in late August, but we've only talked, according to my notes, maybe 6 times or so, maybe a little more. I don't know. We tried a number of things. The thing that was most natural and the most logical thing for Izzy was to, of course, do everything, read aloud as much as she could, and I asked for an hour a day and hoped for 2 hours even, but I don't know what I get. How much do I get a day, Izzy, reading aloud? How much
One,
time?
1 hour.
1 hour. That's good. That's an improvement. It was 30 minutes last time I asked, I remember. So she does that. And we work on mind training because the neurologists tell us that the most repeated thought becomes our dominant thought. And our dominant thought becomes our reality. In other words, we can program our own thinking. And in the beginning of the book, I have a quote from my psychiatrist, from my psychiatrist. I only went to him 6 times in my life when I was about 10 or 12 years older than you are right now. And he wrote a book, a number of books. And in one of his books, he said, and say after me, we have free choice
We have free choice
to accept or reject thoughts.
to accept or reject thoughts.
Nothing compels us to think anything
Nothing compels us to think anything
except our own desires.
except our own desires.
So use your mental switch
So use your mental switch
and dictate your thoughts.
and dictate your thoughts.
Believe that you can improve,
Believe that you can improve,
and you will.
and you will.
Do you believe that, Izzy?
Yeah, it's
It's
true.
very important that you do. It can change your whole life. Your life is largely within your control, not the events, but how you react to it, how you deal with it, and how much you enjoy it or don't. That's largely within your control.
Mhm.
So, mind training, we talk about it in my book as autosuggestion, which was made most popular by Emile Coué, a Frenchman in the 1800s. And we talk about self-hypnosis. And autosuggestion is just talking to our conscious minds. We can do it anywhere, anytime. I get a negative thought, I'm going to do something bad. I just strike it out. No, I'm not. Everybody gets bad thoughts. Everybody gets good thoughts. Our job is to keep our minds full of good thoughts. It's hard to do, and it's a lifetime job.
Mm.
That's why we have to work on it every single day, at least once. And depending on what your problems are, maybe two times or even three. When I was your when I was 12 years older than you, or 13 years older than you, I gave myself self-hypnosis treatments one, two, three times every single day, every day, every day. And I did it for years, Izzy. I didn't need to do it for years for speech, but I did it anyway. I did it in the morning, and I did it before I went to bed, and I did it during the day. And it changed my life. It made me a much better person, a much happier person, a much more productive person, a much nicer person. Perfect? No, of course not. But a
Mm.
much better person, a much better person. And that's why I was able to say stuttering is a blessing because I took control of my mind largely to the extent nothing's 100%. And it's always a battle because your mind is a receiver as well as a transmitter, but it can be programmed, but it receives willy-nilly everything. We've talked about this before. I'm a great believer that thoughts can be picked up globally. You might pick up my thoughts in Australia from Bermuda or vice versa. It's
Mm.
possible. Thoughts are like electrical things. You can't see them. Do you know, have we talked about the atom at all? And the fact that the more the analysts analyzed, they thought, and when I was your age, they thought the atom was the smallest indicia of or element of matter. It was the smallest component of matter. Well, since I was your age, they've decided, oh no, it has multiple parts. And the more they look at it, they keep breaking it down into more and more particles, more and more and more. They finally got to the point they were saying in the 1990s, they came out with the string theory. Did you know what that is? It's
No.
it's it's the theory is that all matter is nothing more than strings that are vibrating.
Yeah.
And you know what else they came up with since then, Izzy? Some of them
What?
say, some of them say, you know what's behind the strings? Thought. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Thought may be the major component of matter. Another way to put it is the only thing real is thought. And that your body is like a garment. It's what you wear. And it may have been created by thought. Wow. Who knows? But the point is, we're in control of a lot of our destiny because we're in control. Our minds are our lives are in here. They're nowhere else. This is where you live, and you can program that. So this is very important, and this is why stuttering. One of the reasons why stuttering can be made into a blessing. One of the reasons. Now, how much are you doing your mind training, and how are you doing it?
Well, I do it in the mornings and then nighttime, and I play it when I go to bed as well.
Good. Okay. And have you been able to make a monotone recording every day in
Yeah.
every way?
Yeah.
Do you play that when you sleep sometimes?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Good. And how many affirmations do you have, honey?
20.
Whoa, that's too many, dear. That's
Oh
too
no,
many.
no. It means how many sentences do you
Oh,
take?
10, sorry.
No, yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
6
Okay.
a.m.
Okay. Okay. So you have, did you say six? Is that what you said?
No, 3 and 4.
You only have four? That's
Yeah.
not really a lot. That's not a lot.
Okay.
Um, hmm. Do you have them written? Can you email them to me right now?
Yeah.
Go ahead, email them to me right now. I want to look at them. Uh, three or four. Normally we 10 is the maximum, and it's a pretty good, depends on where you are. Um, if you only had three or four, I would hope that you would be doing them, you know, 30 times anyway, if not
Yeah.
more each. Um, I don't know if three or four is enough. Um, I doubt that it is. It's good to have ones that you like
Oh,
the most that you use when you're under a lot of pressure and stuff. But I'm going on my email here.
Um, I'm sorry. Is that yeah?
Are you emailing me at Lee at SAA Help? Is that what you're doing? I hope. Hey, I can get it from the others too, but
Oh, this one here. Yeah, we'll try and do that. So we're just on a different computer, so we'll just take a little while.
okay. Now, who was the gentleman that was with Izzy last time I met with her?
my dad.
Was your dad? Okay, okay. I didn't get his name, and we kind of gave him a baptism of fire, didn't we, Izzy? We threw him right to the lions.
He can handle it.
Did he have a good time, Mom? Did he have a good time?
Yeah, he did. He did. He'd do it more if he wasn't at work so early. But yeah, he did. He enjoyed it. It was good for him to take
Good,
part.
good, good. Uh,
Where's that
Um,
now?
so
um, alright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it hey
No,
at
no,
S?
it's S. Oh yeah, yeah. S. S.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I can't see that. Sorry.
Okay. Send is it there at the top?
Yeah.
Send.
Uh-huh.
Send anyway. Alright. That's sent Lee.
okay,
That was good.
isn't email wonderful? Isn't it
Amazing.
wonderful that we can do this? We can
Uh,
send these things like that.
immediate.
When I first started helping people with their speech, Izzy, I was
Yeah.
probably in my 30s,
Yeah.
and I won't tell you how long ago it was. It was so.
Just last year then.
And so I was in my 30s, and we did it by telephone,
Oh
and
no.
the phone company charged like multiple dollars every minute. So we could only talk for like 10, 15 minutes, and I would make notes, and then I would write to them and send it to them. And it was those
Wow.
notes that became my first book.
Ah, okay. Your
That's how that
letters.
book happened. So I'm looking at your affirmations. Every day in every way, my speech grows better and better. That's perfect. That's Emil Coué. That's his
Yeah.
famous line. He said, "Every day in every way, I grow better and better." But that's his famous line. Every psychologist in the world knows that line. Every one of them. They all do, and it's very, very popular. Um, then you say two, I love to speak. I love to say my name, Izzy. Perfect. Three, I love to speak. two large groups. There's only one zero and one O and two.
Oh, sorry, I'm a
That's
bad
okay,
typer.
honey. Listen, life is full of mistakes, but we're here to learn. Okay, it's a
Yeah.
preposition, so we need only one O. Um, so okay, so I love to say my name, Izzy. I love to speak to large groups and to authority figures. Okay, that's fine. That's good. And then four, when I speak, calm floods my body. That's all great. But you're missing some very important things.
Okay.
We always end with what should you always end with? We've talked about this before, and it's important that you remember this because when you're long finished, when my name is but a dim memory, I don't want this to be a dim memory. What do you always end with? Today?
I will make a happy
Ah,
day.
exactly. You never fail to end with that one. Oh, no, 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 no. So
That's the best.
uh, that's so important. So I'm going to add that one, of course. Um,
Mm.
my computer wants to argue with me at the moment. Um, five, but we need some others. We need some others as well, I think. Um, but we can fill them out as we go, um, as we talk. So you're doing your reading aloud and you're doing your mind training.
Yeah.
And are you singing when you would stutter, Izzy? Are you singing?
Yes, I am.
Good. Because, honey, I can't tell you, there is nothing I can tell you as important as that right now. And the more you do it, the sooner you won't need to do it at all.
Yeah.
But how long that takes, are we talking weeks or months or what? I have no idea. It depends upon how sticky the habit is. Everybody's habit is stickier to a different degree. So, but the more distance you put, but every time you sing, you put distance between you and stuttering. Every time you increase the distance, and every time you don't put it between you and stuttering, and you stutter, you close the gap, you go closer, you literally walk back towards stuttering. That's what you're doing. And that's what we can't allow because we have to train your mind got trained the wrong way, so did mine and lots of other people's. There are at least 70 million of us with the same similar problem, so we're not alone here. Just not many people know about it. It always amuses me when people tell me, I've never known a stutterer. And I say, you've known hundreds of stutterers. I guarantee you, they just don't stutter around you.
Mm.
I didn't stutter around my family. My family didn't hear me stutter till they
Mm.
heard me outside the house.
Mm.
They didn't ever hear me inside the house. I never stuttered there. So there are people who don't stutter, but maybe only on the phone, or maybe only when they're talking to authority figures, or only when they're giving speeches. They never stutter any other time. Now, your case was different. You were stuttering in lots of places. You were stuttering in most places, weren't you?
Yeah.
And so everybody knew you stuttered and you did, and it was very upsetting. But so um, these other people are situational stutters. They stutter in specific places. They may stutter as bad or worse than you ever did when they stutter, but unless they're in those situations, they don't stutter. But right now, I like what I'm hearing today.
Thank you.
I like what I'm hearing because
Thanks.
I'm hearing a girl who is not showing much sign of this problem, and that's
Thank you.
really great. Um, What can you tell me about your week? Um, about speech and your week. Um, all of it. The good, the bad, the indifferent. What can you tell me?
Well, it's been a lot better. I'd say like 80 to 85% of my words are smooth, and then
Helen did a speech.
hmm?
Did a speech and an interview.
Oh yeah, I did a speech for a school house captain, and I also did an interview,
Really?
and
How'd
yeah,
they go?
great, yeah, but
Great.
unfortunately I didn't get the role, which is okay. It's all right, but um
There'll be another one.
yeah, in year no, I mean 12. Yeah, 12. Yeah. Um, and also I've been answering a lot more questions in class time,
Good.
and reading out paragraphs on a board.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
really good.
You know, that's all really, really, really good news. Um, the most important single thing about all of it, though, for now, is that when and if you run into a problem, what do you do?
Um, I stop and I say a positive affirmation.
Okay, but in a conversation, you're talking
Yeah.
to a teacher in the hallway and you encounter a problem.
What's your
What can
strategy?
you do to keep the conversation going without stuttering? What can you do?
I stop for 1001 and 2, and I either sing or I modulate my voice.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And which do you do well, as a percentage? Can you guess as to what percentage you sing and what percentage you modulate roughly? Can you guesstimate?
In school, I modulate more actually.
Okay, all right. And let me ask Mom's opinion on something. Did Mom leave us? She didn't leave us.
Yeah, our picture's frozen. I'm
Yeah.
not sure why. I went to charge it and came back and it's stuck. But
Well, you can still talk. I see your picture's frozen, but you can still talk. So,
yeah.
Mom, at home,
Uh-huh.
does when Izzy carries on a conversation with all of you guys, um,
Uh-huh.
is can you give me a percentage as between modulating and singing? Is it 50-50 or 20-80 or 70-30 or I mean modulating, singing? It's not. This is not a test. I'm just trying to gather
Yeah.
information.
Yeah. Of course, it varies to the day and to the event, but generally, I would say about 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you say?
And
Yeah.
which do you think is more effective? In which way is she a better conversationalist, or is it pretty much the same?
I would actually say, yeah, modulating definitely, and with expression, and with hands, I've really
Okay,
noticed a
okay,
difference.
okay, okay. I'm really glad to hear all of that. Um, I would only say, Izzy, that any time that the modulation doesn't work, don't
Yeah.
hesitate to sing and don't let it bother you and laugh and have fun with it when you do it. I
Yeah.
gotta sing this line, and then I'll
Mm,
say some more, and then I'll sing a little more, and I'll say
Yeah.
some more. It beats stuttering, and what you're doing is you are distancing yourself from stuttering every time you do it. You're
yeah.
not giving in to stuttering, you're not doing it.
Uh-huh.
Now, there are a lot of other crutches, but and and they and they will come in handy. But crutches 1 through 8, such as dropping the first letter or syllable, using a synonym, similar word or phrase, skipping a word, spelling a word, inserting a sound or another word and connecting it or jamming it into the stuttered word, um, telling a story about the word, changing the subject, rephrasing it, using extreme pronunciation, all of these things, and modulation and whispering, all of these things are great, but you can't do them on, I mean, not you, but nobody can do them on every single word. And when you and I met, Izzy, you were stuttering on almost every word. You're not
Yeah.
now, but you were at that time. And so those crutches wouldn't have been of much use to you at that moment. But they are getting to the point, you are getting to the point where they definitely can be of use to you.
Yeah.
And so you're not, I'm not in any way discouraging you from modulating or from singing. I think you should do the both, either or
Yeah.
both, as to the extent you want to, and you found them helpful. However, you can experiment with these other methods as well. When you're having a,
Okay.
for example, Izzy, I just done it before. I can rop the erst etter of ost urge in the entens and eat right on awking, and you can ill understand what I say, even though I sound a bit unny. You can ill understand me. Isn't that true?
S.
It's
And
a
so
skill.
I'm not asking you to do that, but what I am showing you is that in context, you can drop first letters all day long and carry on a conversation. And if you don't drop them on every word, if you drop them on every third or fourth word, very rarely would anybody ever even notice what you did. They wouldn't even know
Mhm.
what you did, and they would still understand you. They think, well, she's got a dialect or whatever, or they wouldn't think anything because
Yeah.
so many people butcher their speech. That's another good thing about stuttering. When you come out the other end of this tunnel, you're not only not going to stutter, you're going to be one of the best speakers in your group, period. Because you're going to improve your pronunciation. You're going to speak softly, slowly. You're going to have more enthusiasm. You're going to smile when you speak. You're going to uh, you're going to use stops, lots of stops, which will bring listeners to you. You combine pronunciation and speaking slowly with stops and smiling and being enthusiastic, you're going to go like this on the speakers chart ahead of your friends.
Yeah.
Believe me. And it'll get noticed too eventually. It'll get noticed. And people will start telling you what a good speaker you are. I have one guy, one of our coaches, Javier, who stuttered on basically every word when I met him. I met him when he was around 30 years old, and he hasn't stuttered now in 3 years.
Wow.
He still has some hiccups he's working on, but I mean, he's a coach. He coaches PWS. So and he's had a number of very good successes.
Oh,
So
that's
I mean,
good.
this whole thing ends up being the a chocolate sundae or something, or a banana split. I mean, that's what we're going to convert this mess into.
Yeah.
So all right. So these other crutches, like, for example, um, if if I'm going to have trouble with a specific word, you always remember that the stuttering guy, he always only has one word, one syllable, one letter. That's all he's got. And you have everything else that you know. Every other word, every other syllable, every other letter is yours. And every one that you possess trumps his his word, syllable, and letter. The trump meaning beats it. It's like in cards where you have one card that is superior to any other card. They call it a trump card.
Yeah.
And this is what your every method trumps whatever his problem is. He has nothing that can beat any of your solutions. He doesn't have it because you change your mind. Your mind changes its focus. There you are. Your mind
Yeah.
changes its focus, and you're therefore in command. So, example, that's when you wrap the first edder and keep on awking. Um, that's one way to handle a problem. A lot of times that doesn't work. If somebody says, "What's your name?" and I say E instead of Lee, well, that's not my name. Or if you said Z instead of Izzy, that wouldn't be your name. Or
Yeah.
Cola wouldn't be Nicola. So,
Right.
uh, so what would you do in that situation? Well, you can do a number of things. You can put, you can. I like to combine crutch 7 and crutch 1. Crutch 7 says whispering, the magic instant cure. And by the way, have you ever in a conversation, Izzy, decided to whisper a few words and then
Yeah.
continue talking? Have you done that?
In class time a lot. I've been whispering in class,
And it
so it's
works.
actually very good in class
It
time. Yeah, it
works, doesn't it? It works
yeah.
because you know why it works. You know why? It's pure logic. Your voice is in a specific register. If you and I went to the piano right now, we could find the note that corresponded with your register, your main register, and with mine, and they'd be very different notes. And that's our register. And as long as Satan stuttering lives in that register, he's not anywhere else. Now, if you change registers and start talking in a higher pitch and keep talking that way indefinitely, he'll get there. Or if you go down to a low voice and stay there, he'll get there. But it takes him a while to get there. That's why modulation works, and that's why changing your voice register works. The
Yeah.
minute you go out of his register, you wipe him out. You fake him out. You fake him out.
Mhm.
It's like running down the field and faking somebody, and they take the fake, and you go the other way and you score the point or whatever in
Yeah.
netball.
Yeah.
Good job.
so, so that's what you do. You fake him out. So when you whisper, uh, you know, I can whisper, I can whisper one word, or I can whisper quite a few words, or I can whisper an entire conversation if I want to. I could give a whole speech this way. There's also a register between my whisper and my regular voice. It's called my soft voice. So I have my soft voice and my whisper voice. And my loud voice and my louder voice.
Yeah.
I can go to any of those places anytime with a word, a phrase, or I can stay there for a while. And as long as I move around, he'll never catch me. He never will. He never will. But you got to keep moving. So you don't have to move that often. I mean, you don't have to move every few seconds, but I mean, you can't stay there indefinitely all day or for an hour or something like that. He'll adjust, but it takes him a while. How fast he adjusts for you, I don't know. He varies How quickly he adjusts varies from person to person. But in any event, when you whisper, I'm talking to the teacher in the class and I want to say, I won't be able to make class tomorrow, but I'll be okay the next day. So I'll see you then. I can bounce around like that and I'm fine. Look, what you're doing, Izzy, is you're taking the heat off yourself because by knowing all these crutches, you know that you don't have to get stuck on a word ever. You never have to get stuck, ever. Not even on one word, ever. If you know the crutches, never. You're never going to get stuck again. But you got to know them and you got to be able to use them in panic situations. And that means when you're really scared. And keep in mind, Izzy, everybody, almost 99% of people are scared about talking in some situations. You're not alone. All of your friends are scared about talking in some situations. All of them. They've done surveys, I think I've mentioned to you, that say 75% of the population fears public speaking more than death. Well, I don't believe that's true, but I've seen several surveys that claim that it is true, Izzy. So it does make a point. People don't like public speaking. And my father, and what is public? One of my mates, he says, when the second person walks up, I freeze.
Yeah.
That's a speech to him, two people. Somebody else it's
Uh,
like five or three or four. Somebody else it's seven or 10. It makes no sense at all. None of this changes your organic ability to speak. None of it. No audience changes it. But my father used to say he was a very good speaker. He was an attorney and very did a lot of speaking. And I said, Dad, do you get nervous before you go on? And he said, Lee, if you don't get nervous before you go on, you won't be any good. So one of our coaches, Prathusha, a very pretty Indian girl, says she converts her fear, her anxiety, and she always had trouble talking to strangers and guys mostly. She converts her fear into enthusiasm. She just turns it around and makes it excitement. Hey, how are you doing? What's up? What time is class? When can we do this? I'm so glad to chat. Nice to see you. When you sing on the stage, you don't hold back anything, do you, Izzy?
no.
No, you don't. And that's why you're able to sing on the stage. When you speak, don't hold back anything either. It's like John Harrison, a very wise man who's been written good books and been around stuttering for a long time says. Stuttering is the wrong name for the problem. It should be called holding back. And he's absolutely right. And that's what you and I have done. We held back. Well, Izzy, we're not going to do it anymore. Say after me, I love to speak.
I love to speak.
It's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
I can't wait to get the microphone.
I, I can't wait to get the microphone.
I'm going to introduce every member of the band.
I'm gonna introduce every member of the band. I
And
forgot what
I
you
will
said.
exaggerate every word I say.
And I will exaggerate every word I say.
Now, Izzy, introduce to me, pretend your band is here, continue talking in the same way. and introduce to me every member of your band. Same way you're talking now. Introduce to me the members of your band.
Oh, yeah. Our drummer is Shane. Our pianist is Katie. Our guitarist are three of us, and there's Ella, Caitlin, me, and Hannah. That's four, sorry. Um, there's about 12 singers, but only seven go on at once in a performance. And there's like three harmonizers. Um, there's a violin,
Violinist.
a violinist
Wow.
called Conan. Yeah.
That's wonderful. It sounds like a more like a symphony than just a band, you know. You've got so
Yeah.
many members. No,
That's
that was
cool.
good. Now, see, you were all in on doing that, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were you committed to do it. Like you dive in the water, and if you don't swim, you can go down, you know. You got to do something. And you got in there and you swam. And that's what you
Yeah.
did. So you had no problem. And you were smiling when you did it, which is even better. You know, you can say, "Oh, it gives me great pleasure." Say that.
Oh, it gives me great pleasure. Sorry.
To introduce the members of this excellent band.
To introduce the members of this excellent band.
First, we have on the drums.
First, we have on the drums
What was his name?
Shane.
Shane. Say it.
Shane.
And then we have on the piano.
Katie.
Good. That's it. And then we have on guitar.
Ella, me, Hannah, and
There
Caitlin.
you go. See, that's the way you make it a big deal. You say, let's, and when you finish, you say, let's hear it for the band.
Let's hear it for the band.
And you do this as you say it. And they go, yay!
Except at school and everyone is zombies and don't applaud.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, everybody wants to laugh. Everybody wants to cheer. Everybody wants to have a good time, but they need to be led. You got to lead them. You got to point them. It's like the first time that I introduced somebody successfully in my young career as an attorney, one of the ones I remember, I used to represent a guy by the name of Rocky Marciano, and he was the world heavyweight boxing champ. He was retired when I represented him, but he was anyway. He was very famous. Everybody knew him, and so, but um, I was always impressed by the ring announcers in boxing. They would take the mic and they would say, "In this corner, weighing we have in the red trunks, Rocky Marcy." No, he wouldn't give his name, but he'd say, um, "From Brockton, Massachusetts,
Yeah.
weighing 205 pounds, the undefeated champion of the world, Rocky Marciano." Yay! And
Yeah.
that's the way I said, when I introduced this guy and other people that I was required to introduce, I started being a ring announcer, like I had a boxing match. And people loved it. They thought I was being funny, and I
Yeah.
was, but they didn't know why I was being funny. That
Yeah.
was my secret.
Mhm.
But it worked. And you know what I learned? I don't have to get stuck.
Mhm.
And you don't have to get stuck either. You're in control of it. When you go all out, all in, you're like a rocket ship. You're gone.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop you. And now you're increasingly fluent throughout the day. That is to say, you say things without thinking anything, don't you?
Yeah.
And the words just come out, don't they?
Yeah.
And they're easy to say.
Yeah.
That's all fluency is. When you stop, when you take the handcuffs off your brain, take the shackles off, and let it function, your brain is fine. You're fine. But when you inhibit it, when you burden it, as you have done and I have done, then that's a real problem.
Mhm.
You can lock it up tight as a drum, just as tight as you want, and you don't want to do that anymore. So when you speak and you think nothing, you just let your ideas fall from your mouth. Your brain is as good at patching words onto what you say, what you want to say, words on what your thoughts are, as it is on giving you breathing. It tells you when to breathe, and it knows exactly what words I need to say right now to you. I don't have any plan to say words to you. I'm not thinking any words I'm saying to you. I'm using Crutch 13. No words, no thought at all. I'm simply allowing my urges to come out. And
Mhm.
that's all you're doing. That's Crutch 13. That's the ultimate crutch. That's what your mom does all day long. That's what everybody who's fluent does all day long. They don't know any other way to speak. And they think it's very strange that
Mhm.
anybody would have a problem with it because they've never understood it. It's never happened to them. So they don't understand it. So they laugh if they don't know anything about it. Or they laugh because what's going on? They don't know. At first they think you're being funny.
Mhm.
So, but the point is, the more you speak without any concern, planning, or preparation, the better. And you
Mhm.
will find it easier to do that if you will do it in short increments of words, a few words at a time. The less you say in a continuum of words, the easier it will be to talk without running into a problem. The longer you go, the greater your risks. But when you stop and start again and say some more and then some more, you can talk all day long with a mic in front of the whole world or to your puppy dog. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter. It's all the same. Audiences are irrelevant. And
Mhm.
I don't mean to say unimportant. I mean they're irrelevant to your ability to speak. They have nothing to do with it. And really, the more important the audience, a teacher, a class, a student body, the more the better, the more fun that it is. Because you can be the ring announcer.
Mhm.
Or you can whisper if you wish. I've whispered speeches into mics, whispered them. Most of the speech I've whispered. Later, somebody said, "Why did you talk so softly?" And I said, "I felt like it fit the subject matter better." Or, "I have a bit of a sore throat." Or, "I'm just a bit tired. Could you understand me?" "Oh, yes. Did you like what I said?" "Oh, very much." "Well, I'm glad you did." And they never ask again. I used to whisper all the time. You can whisper anytime you want, as much as you want or as little as you want. One word, a phrase, a sentence, a conversation, whatever you want. Or you can go in your half voice. The softer your voice, the less problems you will have with Satan stuttering. Conversely, if you scream, you'll also have less problems. But that's a bit offensive. And unless you're being the ring announcer, that's different. You can do it then. When you're at the mic, you can do what you want to do. You can be as loud as you want. That's fine. Nobody objects to it either. Nobody objects. So you've got two things that are working well, modulating and singing.
Yeah.
And again, the most important point is whichever one you use or some other crutch, the important thing is do not let yourself have a bad incident.
Mhm.
Sing it if you gotta sing it. Not a problem. And smile. Am I on pitch? Should I get my guitar? No, later. Okay. So, I mean, have fun with it. Look, it's not a secret that you've had a stuttering problem, and people, they don't want you to have a stuttering problem for a couple of reasons. Number one, if they got a heart, they don't want you to have one, and most people do. Everybody does. It's just that some not as big as others, but so if they have a heart, they don't want you to stutter. And secondly, selfishly, they don't want to wait to listen to you or anybody talk. So you're it's not like they're rooting against you. They're not. They're not. And the funny thing about this is, Izzy,
What?
when you stop stuttering for a few months, people aren't even going to remember you stuttered. And that's what's
Mm.
going to blow your mind. They won't even remember it. That's how little it matters to them. That's how little they notice it. That's how little they think about it. Of course, it bugs you to death. Of course. But I'm just telling you, to other people, it's not bothering. They're not keeping records. They don't remember. They don't care. They wish you well, and they're busy. And they got a million problems that have nothing to do with you and your speech. They're
Mm.
worried about some serious problems that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
Your problem, you wear it on your sleeve.
Mm.
They don't wear theirs on their sleeve. You don't do it intentionally, but it's what it is. But the good news is, it's like, you grew a big wart on the end of your nose. Well, we're going to cut it off.
Mhm.
And when it's gone, nobody's going to ever remember you had a wart on your nose. I remember one of my friends who had a huge mole right about here on his cheek. And I'd known him for many, many years. Grew up with him, and I got together with him and his wife one time. And it had been, oh, I don't know, I guess we were in our 30s, and I hadn't seen him in 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years. We had a nice evening, and when it came to the end of the evening, he said, well, he said, you didn't even notice. I said, notice what? And he said, I took the mole off. Oh my God, that's right. He had a mole the size of a quarter. That's right. I did. It was gone. Do you miss
Yeah.
it? No, I don't miss it. Oh, okay. Well, good. I didn't notice that you you didn't have it. So that's the way it goes. So all of this becomes sort of a bad memory, provided 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 you follow the rules. We don't stutter. We don't have a bad incident. I'm not saying you can't say I left my purse in the car. That's fine. That's not a speech disability. But if you do it on too many words in a row, and then you're holding up the conversation, that is. You must forgive yourself minor mistakes. Forgive yourself and forget them because everybody makes them, Izzy, including your mother and your father and your sister. Everybody makes them.
Mhm.
So don't worry about them. Forget them. but you don't appear speech disabled. We don't let it go there.
Yeah.
You modulate your way out of it, or you sing your way out of it if you need to. Sing them and knock them, nail them. Let them have it. You don't have to do it. And smile when you do it. Was I on pitch? Oh, good. What was it you were saying? I'll have a hamburger. Go on with your life. Use it as a tool to evoke laughter. When you laugh, others laugh.
Yeah.
Not at you, they laugh with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't laugh, then there's concern and, oh, poor Izzy kind of thing. It's not
Yeah.
poor Izzy. There's nothing poor about Izzy. She's got a problem. She's handling it. Period. Everybody has problems. You're handling it. And that's the name of the game. Life is about handling problems.
Mm-hmm.
As we age, the problems change, but they're always there. And we got to handle them. And mind training is a principal thing for you for the rest of your life. Because you can turn these things, you can attack boredom and depression and anxiety in all its forms, anger, jealousy, hatred, greed, laziness,
Mm-hmm.
insomnia, all the human problems, you can attack them by programming your mind. I can't imagine anybody being bored. I don't understand it because I think the world is fascinating. I don't like a lot of things that go on, but I think it's a fascinating place. And it's always changing. It's exciting. It beats any movie or dime novel you can ever find. Just look around you at the world. It's a fascinating place. How could anybody be bored here? That's crazy. You're not paying attention. You're not looking. And if you say, well, one of my students was telling me that he wasn't interesting. And I said, all you got to do to be interesting is to be interested. How interested are you in everybody else?
Yeah.
The
It's
more
true.
interested you are in them, the more interesting you are to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we said before, didn't we, Mom? The more you think about yourself, the less you think of yourself.
I
Yeah.
love that.
And I don't mean to say that I don't think about myself. I do. And I worry,
Mm.
oh, I'm losing hair, or I'm getting fat, or I'm this, or I'm that, or whatever. But it's a question of degree, isn't it? It's how much
Mm.
time you spend there. And the
Mm.
more time you spend thinking about others and what you can do that's constructive, the better you're going to feel about yourself.
Yeah. It's true.
And in terms of your speech, the less you dwell on your past stuttering,
Mm-hmm.
the faster it will vaporize like the morning dew.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. There's nothing there, Izzy. This isn't a cancer. There's nothing there. There's nothing eating at you. It's all a ghost. In fact, one of my students, a stand-up comedian, recently wrote his success story, and it was brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. He's 21 years old, and he maybe he's 24, and he wrote about how this ghost came into him. He said it's the strangest thing. He said I'm on stage and the ghost isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
I can be funny and so forth. I walk off the stage and go talk to people backstage, and the ghost comes,
Mm-hmm.
and I have problems with my speech. And then he goes away, and I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to the bar, and he comes back, and then he goes away. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing there. Nothing is there. If you will commit yourself, you can go from modulation to extreme enthusiasm about everything you say. That's the next step. Extreme enthusiasm. How enthusiastic can you be? Tell me, Izzy, how enthusiastic can you be? Tell me something.
Um,
Enthusiastically. Go on.
huh?
Say it enthusiastically.
Tell me
Um,
how enthusiastic you can be.
very enthusiastic.
Looking forward to holidays.
I'm so excited for our holidays because I'm going to Noosa with my friend for a week and I'm coming back and it's my sister's 16th birthday and then it's my birthday and then Christmas, so I'm very excited.
Wow, wow, wow. Did you? Where is it you said you were going?
Noosa and I've never been there before, so I'm very excited.
Um, Mom,
On the
what is she
Sunshine
saying? I
Coast.
don't. I don't know this destination.
Noosa, Noosa.
Mhm.
Norsa.
Noosa.
Noosa. Where is that?
It's on the Sunshine Coast
Okay.
in Queensland. It's
I confess my ignorance, Izzy. I've never heard
beautiful,
of that
absolutely
destination.
beautiful.
I thought you said Russia. Noosa. Oh, Noosa, of course. Yes, Noosa. What is it? Is that an animal? Is that animal or human or what is that? A Noosa.
It's a place and it's beaches, markets, hotels. I don't even know, but yeah, I'm excited for that.
Good, I love it. I love the fact that you used your hands a little bit there, and you exaggerated. You mean you were really being expressive. It's not exaggeration is done to show the importance that some words or syllables have over others, and the meaning that you attribute to a specific word or syllable, and it helps people understand what you're saying. The more you put into it, the more your listener gets out of it. And the more they like you because you're entertaining. You don't only have to sing and play the guitar to be entertaining. You can be entertaining in the way you speak. I know I'm over the top. You'll hang up the Skype and say, that old fool, I can't imagine living with that maniac.
No, not at all. No.
A little bit, just a
but
little bit.
but within some degree of control, you know, it makes me a more interesting person.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything is what you put into it is what you get out of it. If you don't really try to sing well, you're not going to sing nearly as well as if you really try to sing well.
Mhm.
It's the same with everything, with all your homework, with your friendships, with your sports, with everything you do, and with your speech. You can become a performer when you speak. You can be Izzy, who's so excited to speak. They say she once stuttered. Can you believe that? No, she used to stutter. Impossible. Izzy? No.
True.
You can take it anywhere you want to take it. There are no limits. No limits. You're doing really well with things, and I don't want to just throw new stuff at you just to be different, but I would be a bit happier if you branched out a little bit from. I'm not saying sing or modulate less. Those are the valves that let off the steam. You know, you can
Yeah.
you can get out of trouble with them, When panic hits, the more severe the panic, the more you modulate. If
Mhm.
it's not working as well, you're singing, and if that's not working as well, you sing more. But now, what I am suggesting to you is that crutches 1 through 8, there are a lot of good crutches there, and you can experiment with them. You can whisper a conversation that you're having, at dinner. You can just be the soft, you can be the whispering girl at the table.
Mhm.
Or you can say, okay, when I have when a word seems challenging, I may I may drop the first letter and keep right on going. That's number one. Or I may put a word in front of it. I think we've done this before, but if you're going to have trouble saying Izzy, Izzy, well, if we put words in front of it like well or so or and as examples, I've done this before, but well, Izzy, say that.
Well, Izzy.
So, Izzy,
So Izzy.
and Izzy,
And Izzy.
Izzy,
Izzy.
no, Izzy, you got to hold the tone. Izzy,
Izzy.
good. Izzy,
Izzy.
all of those work, don't they?
Yeah.
They will always work. You know why? Because Satan can't control them. He, if you're stuck on Izzy, he's only stuck on the eh. Or if you say, well, he could be stuck on the Z. Okay, fine. Whatever part of the word he's stuck on, is, whatever part he's stuck on, you do something else. You
Mhm.
do something else. So I mean, when you do anything else, Izzy, I started again. In the case of Izzy, it's 2 syllables and it's easier to repeat it than it is to struggle with the last syllable.
Mhm.
Izzy. Now, I've told you before on repeats, one way to beat repeats, repeats, is to hold the second one or third one. Repeat what I'm going to say, and then I will have a problem
Sorry, puppy problem.
because there are some words that I have difficulty saying. All I'm doing is holding them, Izzy. So let's do that.
Okay.
I wanted to say
I wanted to say.
no. I wanted to say
Okay. I wanted to say
that my name is Izzy.
that my name is Izzy. Wait, no, I messed it up. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Sorry.
Okay. And this is Coach Lee.
And this is Coach Lily. Love it.
See, you got to make it a repeat start though. Is Lee. In other words, you were going to go but you didn't do it. You went Lee. In other words,
Yeah.
you're imitating the beginning of a repeat with one repeat, and you could have two repeat. The point is, Izzy, if you will hold the problem syllable that you're repeating, you will never repeat it. You just won't. Izzy, you can do this, but you need to practice these things. You need to take the crutch chart and you need to practice some of these other crutches. It's and make it fun, make it a game. All of life is a game if you choose to see it as one. And the game is it's not can Izzy beat somebody else. The game is can Izzy master herself? Your speech is just one thing you've got to master in life. You got to master yourself in so many different ways. Oh, we have a change of cast. So, hello,
Hey,
Dad. How you doing?
good coach. How are you?
Wonderful, thanks. And
I've
Izzy
just
is
been
just
listening to
doing
you
so
in the
well.
kitchen.
What?
I've just been listening to you in the kitchen, and everything you're saying is amazing. It's so true. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. And we use our speech problem. We convert it into a blessing. That's what we do.
Yeah,
And that's what Izzy's going to do too.
yeah,
She's going to come out the other end of this tunnel, not only not stuttering, but being among the best speakers in her group, if not the
I agree.
best,
Yep,
because she's going to put something into it.
exactly.
She's going to be excited about it. She loves
Yep,
to speak. There's nothing to fear. Audiences are irrelevant to our ability to speak. And the more frightened we are, the more fun we're going to have speaking to them because we're going to put more into it.
yep,
It's the difference between practicing tennis or netball and playing in a tournament.
correct.
So when we're speaking to others, we're playing in the tournament. That's when we go all out, isn't it, Izzy?
Yeah.
And you can do this. So I'm really proud of you, and I don't want to change anything that you're doing. I would only add that if you would did I ever send you the crutch chart? You did. I did. Okay. I would ask you to try and use as many of those as you can in different conversations. And the first one is so easy. I say I can rap the first ether, most erds, and entence and keep right on talking, and people still know what I'm aying, even though I sound a bit unny. Well, that's just, you can practice it like that. And look, have fun with it. Have fun with it. Practice your whispering. You can whisper anything. Have a conversation of whispering. It works. When you speak softly, it's as if the spotlight went off you. The audience is not so focused on you, if at all. You're kind of hiding. When you talk softly, you're kind of hiding. You're safe. See?
Mm.
That's what happens when we talk softly. So it's a very useful tool. They used to call me the whisperer because I whispered a lot. Now they call me the speech whisperer. That's different. But whispering is good. You can do just an occasional word. You can do a phrase, a sentence, or you can have a conversation and whisper. At dinner, at breakfast, whatever. Just say, I want to do it in a whisper. And whisper a good bit of it, most of it or all of it, any part you want. Move it around. The more variety you use in your methods, the sooner you will master all of those crutches. Right now, you're using a couple of crutches, and that's fine. They're working, so that's great. We're happy with that. We're happy with you. And maybe you can leapfrog if you can go from modulation to really being excited about what you say. If you can do that, you don't need anything else. Ever. That's enthusiasm. It's like singing. You don't go to the stage and sing halfway. You sing 100% because you're trying your best. When you speak, you don't have to go halfway. You can be 110%. You can be the most enthusiastic person in the group. So what? They'll enjoy it,
Mm.
and you'll enjoy it, and you'll be more interesting. You'll be more fun. Because why? Because you're showing an interest. You're alive. You're participating. You're helping. And smile as much as you can. Crutch 12. Smile and smile and smile. Laughter saves us from insanity. Laugh and make laugh, said Voltaire, the great Frenchman. Yeah. Laughter, the key to happiness. It's like a virus, Izzy. When you smile, it lights up the room.
True.
It's magic. And you know what? When you smile, every one of your 30 trillion cells, from the top of your head to the tip of your toe, gets an endorphin. Every single cell. That's a fact. That's a neurological fact. You light up, Izzy, when you smile. You also light up other people.
True.
They can't help it. It spreads. Oh, here comes Izzy. Things are going to get better because you're bringing joy with you. In the worst environment, in the worst situation, you can still bring joy. There's never enough and there's never too much. When you think about smiling, you don't think about stuttering. That's a fact. They don't go together, Izzy. They're
They
not
do.
companions. So when you start talking, start smiling. That's crutch 12. Oh, yeah. That's a crutch. That's one you want to use all your life. The more you smile, the happier you'll be, and the happier everyone around you will be. You're always looking at the glass half full. It's always half full or more. It may be 3/4 full or 80% or 90%, but it's never less than half, Izzy. Never. So but I have to keep coming back to my main theme. What is the most important point that I made? I made it at the very beginning. I made it in the middle, and I'm asking you, what is the most important thing about your speech at the moment? At the moment.
Um, to mm, to use extreme expression.
Yes, but it's really to not allow yourself to go off
Oh
stutterer's
yeah.
cliff and appear speech disabled. Making small mistakes, mistakes here and there, and forcing a word once in a while, that's okay because everybody does it. Don't punish yourself for being human. Forgive yourself for normal mistakes. But when you go to the level that you can't, that's too much. We're not going to do it because we don't have to. And you know, I told your mom, and I've told you repeatedly, sing your way out of it if you got to. Modulate if you can do it, and sing if you can't. And always remember when you're feeling the most pressure, only say what you need to say. Say what you need to say, but don't say things you don't need to. And the shorter the increments of speech, that means the less words you say at a single time before you stop, the less words that you say between stops, the easier it will be to be fluent. And once you're fluent enough times, you forget about stuttering. And that's
True.
the truth.
True.
The day will come when you will not remember to stutter. It's a habit that's dying. And every time you avoid a stutter that appears disabled, minor stutters are okay. You're not going to appear speech disabled. Every time you avoid that, you are closer to the day when you will forget to stutter.
Okay.
It will die of its own volition.
True.
because you're not going to feed it. So that's the
So
most important thing. Don't go off the cliff.
Oh.
And secondly, I will ask you to practice other crutches. Now, the only other thing I would say is I'm not super happy with four. Um, I'm looking at your affirmations. Um, these are very good thoughts. If I just add one more, today I'll make a happy day, that's five.
mhm.
I'd like you to say them at least 30 times. There's only five of them. I usually have my students have 10, and they say them 20 times each. It's better to say one thing 100 times than to say 100 things once. Extreme
Okay.
analogy. Repetition and visualization. When you say, every day, in every way, my speech grows better and better, you want to see yourself speaking under pressure to the teacher, to the class, to the student body, on television, on a big stage, wherever it is that bothers you. You want to see yourself there, and you're saying, every day, in every way, my speech gets better and better. And then you say, I love to speak. I love to say, my name is Izzy. I love to speak to large groups and to authority figures. Oh, yes. I love to speak to large groups and authority figures. I love to
Hey,
speak to large groups.
hey,
Okay,
Lee.
Italy.
Sorry, coach. She's late for school.
Oh, I'm
She's
so
going to be.
sorry. You know, you
Oh,
always have to tell me because I would
yeah.
keep her till noon,
So
you see.
the principal's going to be. What are you? So sorry.
Well, you blame me. If you need a note from your coach to take to school
Thank.
with you sometime, I will be happy to supply one.
Everyone's ready by the car. Oh my God.
Okay,
So
keep up the good work. I'm going to send you an email.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Lee.
Take
Thank
care,
you, Mom.
darling.
Thank you,
Bye,
Nice
Coach.
Lee.
to see you
Thank
guys,
you.
mom and dad.
So
Have a
well.
great day,
Thank you.
honey.
Thank you so much, Lee.
Pleasure.
bye.
Bye.